Hi, today I'm going to show how to export Shopify orders to a CSV file and send to your fulfillment or your vendor or your warehouse every time a new Shopify order is made in your store. And maybe you need to send one file to one vendor fulfillment center and one file to another vendor fulfillment center, depending on the brand or something like that. And I'll show you how to do that. So, assuming you already have connected the Easy CSV app in the Shopify store. So make sure you go to the Shopify add-ons, plugins area and look for Easy CSV and enable it for your store. We have a free version, so I would recommend that. Then when you come to Easy CSV, you're going to click to create a new import page or import flow, and you're going to land here. Now, we're going to make a new CSV file we're going to email to somebody. You can send it to an FTP server instead of email. You can send it to Google Drive or Dropbox. We want to take a Shopify order and make a file where each line of the file is an item from the order. So maybe people order 3 different t-shirts, there'd be 3 lines in the file. Okay, so we're going to go here. We're going to click type in columns. We're going to say Shopify order export. And we're just going to type some done first column. And we'll get columns from Shopify in a moment. So just type in a done first column. Next. We're going to email a file, but like I said, a lot of vendors might take an FTP file, so you can make a new file from Shopify Orders and FTP it somewhere. That's a common thing. So say email new file, and then you'll land on this flow. And so we're going to enter our details for where to send the email. You can put in a subject line, you can put in a body. It's going to go to them. It's going to be emailed as an attachment here, and this is the default file, new CSV file here. Maybe it's new order. And we have a syntax you can use, so you can do order name, or you can do order number. Usually name is the right one, and then maybe you can do, let's do month, day, year, because it's just nice to have a date on the file name. So that's going to do new order, the name of the order, and then the date. And we're going to say save. Cool. So now we're going to go up to the scheduled fetcher up here. And we're going to say check every 10 to 20 minutes for new orders. And we're going to say Shopify new orders. And you can say, draft orders, new orders, certain fulfillment status, certain financial status, like you could say paid. We're going to do everything, and we're going to separate each order into its own import. That way, each order becomes its own file. If you group them together, that's great for a report. Like maybe if you want to do like a daily report, you can do every 24 hours. And group them together and send it to yourself. But in general, if you're trying to send a file to a fulfillment center, you're going to want to check every 10 to 20 minutes. And yep, I'm going to do this. Cool. Make sure you have your Shopify store connected. We'll save this. And it's on right away. So right now, if there is a new order made, the system checks every 10 to 20 minutes. If there's one or many new orders made in that time period, it'll start fetching them and making CSVs and emailing them to people. So what you can do is edit, and you can turn it off for now, and then you can make a force fetch and just send it. Make sure you have like your own email in there just to see what the file looks like. Also, when I test a lot, I'll make draft orders here, and then I'll force fetch those draft orders. Cool. So now if we go back to here, you can go to your import flow, right? If you were here, you click on import flow, and this is detailing how it's working now. We've lost that kind of file upload because it's not applicable here. We're always getting our data from Shopify. And so this is how we're getting the data. The middle is kind of the configuration. These are the columns that come from Shopify. So like here's our dummy column, the test column. We can delete that if we want. And then here's all the columns of data for an order that Easy CSV gets from Shopify. And this is what it'll become as line items of the order. So every row will have order name in it if you want that. And you can turn that off if you want. Every row will have SKU. I would leave that on. You probably don't need the SKU total quantity for period. You can turn on what you want and turn off what you don't want. Now, these are all default names. What if my vendor fulfillment center, instead of barcode underscore UPC for the column name, they just need UPC? So if you go back to the import flow, you'll see at the bottom, you can see a preview of the file that's going to be created. You see it's got like shipping address, and it's got SKU and order name. It's got all these things, but maybe I don't want, these columns named like that. What you can do is go to these virtual fields, and these are fields that don't exist, but you want them to. And so let's just call it UPC, and let's use the value from the barcode field. And now I have a new field called UPC, which will be a new column in the file with the value from barcode. And you can massage data, but usually people just take the value. So we'll save that. So I have to go back to the import flow. You'll see that column is still there, but now we have this new column, UPC, and we can drag that to whatever order we want if order really matters for us. But I don't want this old column, and so I can go up to here, back to columns, and I can just turn it off. Go back here. There we go, UPC. And so you can rename these. You essentially make new fields with new names using the value of the old one, and you just turn off what you don't want here, right? Line item name. You probably want quantity, you probably want shipping, right? Maybe you want order total, maybe you want phone number, some things that different fulfillment centers want. So that's how you kind of make the fields you want and turn off the ones you don't. Now let's say that we only want orders for a specific vendor here. So maybe it's like, this, I only want files created for orders for Nike, right? So what's going to happen is it'll get all new orders, get them all, and then it's going to stop any that aren't Nike. So it's only going to let it through if the vendor is Nike. So now this whole flow will go to me, but only for Nike orders, right? So maybe this is my new Nike order, right? And I'm going to do unique ID here so that I don't have my emails thread, for example. I can spell. And you can use the syntax up here too, order name. Cool. So that's it. So every 10 to 20 minutes, this flow is going to look for every new order. It's going to filter for only Nike orders. It's going to make a new column called UPC and keep all the standard columns and email a CSV file to me in this case, but you can change it to your vendor. You can change this to FTP. That's really common. So, you should be enabled to, work with some older fulfillment centers or vendors that just kind of deal with email and files. Cool. Hope that helps. Reach out to Easy CSV support via chat or email if you need any help.